Hi, everybody, and welcome back to Barnabas Sons of Thunder. I'm J.E. Bundy.
And I'm Rhett Ritchie. Have you ever gone through life and as you start to go, you start to lose a sense of who you are because the world around you tells so many different things, even to the point to where you start telling yourself so many different lies about yourself?
If that's the case with you, then thanks for tuning in, and I hope that you enjoy this next episode of Barnabas Sons of Thunder. Hi, everybody, welcome back to...
What's up, everybody? Welcome to Barnabas. We're so glad you're here. I'm chewing ice right now. It's probably not professional, but we're going to do it anyways.
That's all right. So we're pretty laid back here, Barnabas Sons of Thunder. So thanks for tuning in to episode 2. I'm J.E. Bundy. This is Rhett Ritchie.
And I need to introduce you to Thunder and Lightning.
Oh, yeah? I apologize.
Do you get it? Do you get it?
I'm sure they get it. I'm sure they wish they didn't, but I'm sure they do. So
no, they love it. The people at home, everyone who's commented on all these videos, they love it.
On all 2 of the videos. Or
episode 2.
All 1 of the videos. So thanks for coming back to episode 2, giving us a second shot, trying to redeem ourselves after episode 1, but we're enjoying it at least. So that's
even
all we can
if
say.
you're not.
That's right.
We are.
We're having a good time. We do want to thank you for coming back and spending a few minutes with us this week. Like we say in all of our episodes, we really do just hope that this is something that can be an encouragement to you, that this is something that can be uplifting to you, that can make you think, that can, just be a bright spot in your life. So thanks for tuning in. We hope that that's what we're doing.
Yeah, whatever way you can find that thunder. Barnabas, Sons of Thunder.
That's right.
Whatever you can find it, we hope that you find that here with us. We frequently bring in parts of our life, and I'm embarrassed for what I'm about to say.
Okay.
The
So just so you know, I very seldom know what Red is going to say whenever we start recording. So we'll see what this is.
So I frequent social media.
Yeah.
I guess is what you can say.
We kind of have to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just because how else am I going to find the videos of people cutting off a piece of a tree and making a table out of it?
Yeah.
Not going to find that anywhere else except for Facebook.
That's true. A slab table. That's what you're talking about, right?
Some are slab tables.
Yeah.
I saw this one where they use is it a Ditto? No, biscuit machine. A biscuit machine, and they made like this bench. It was really cool.
Yeah.
Shout out to those people. No free ads.
Yeah.
Send us one. send us a table.
Everyone who makes tables, please send us a table.
Yeah, for sure. But in doing that, like my Facebook's all that cooking videos.
Yeah.
And then like the oddly satisfying videos.
Oh yeah.
That I find myself getting more angry about than satisfied. I'm like, what are these people doing?
Yeah.
Have you seen the ones that make you not satisfied? It's like they lay bricks in a certain pattern and there's just one that's a different color.
Oh yeah, like the OCD bothering ones. Yeah. I kind of enjoy those.
Oh, I was about to say
it definitely triggers my OCD, but it's worth it.
Like I think those people just want to watch the world burn.
Oh yeah.
Neither here nor there.
There's a love for chaos there. You know what? So you said your feed is full of like home improvement videos, building things. I watch a lot of those too, but I watch a lot of YouTube, and
lots of fail videos.
We do watch a lot of fail videos.
No free ads.
That's right.
Send us.
This might make its way into a fail video someday. Just this episode, but really, what my YouTube is full of, that YouTube thinks I want to watch all the time, is nothing but flat Earth videos.
Why? Why is that a thing that you're like, oh yes?
I don't know.
Because you have to have looked it up.
Oh, I've watched countless videos. Countless.
Go.
I don't know why I love them so much. I just think it's so fascinating that we live in a world where people believe that the Earth is flat. Like after hundreds of years, we've known that the Earth is round. We've proven it.
Prove it.
And there are still people that believe that the Earth is flat.
Because here's the deal. I like to watch lots of conspiracy videos.
Yeah.
Part of me thinks that there's some justification in these flat earthers.
No, there is zero justification in a flat Earth.
Have you seen The Edge of the Earth?
No, because there is no edge
See,
of
you
the
thought
Earth.
for a second.
No, I did
No,
not think.
you thought.
No,
Then prove it. If you haven't seen the edge of it.
I'll show you some videos later. But but we know the Earth is round, and
Prove it.
and that's what I love about
right
it.
now, 5-second
Are
explanation.
you gonna legitimately
5, 4.
Are you gonna legitimately sit here
2,
and argue that
1.
the Earth is
You have
flat?
no good evidence. You have no good proof.
No, you're right. You're right. You beat.
Next, you're gonna say we have pictures from outer space. Prove that we went to outer space.
I'm not gonna get into this discussion with you.
But it's fine. Back to why I'm going to this.
Okay.
My Twitter.
This is
Twitter
your
what
embarrassing
the-
story?
Yeah, Twitter's what the kids use, or so they say they use.
Yeah, I was gonna say, aren't they? Most of the kids are on Instagram and
Well,
Snapchat.
All of them have Twitters, and because they have these. This is also embarrassing. They have these meme accounts.
Yeah.
But if you've never heard someone say the word meme,
Yeah.
you think it's Mimi. And so I once,
No, you don't.
I once walked into class and talked about a Mimi.
Like in front of people, you said that word.
Yeah. But no one had said it out loud in front of me. And so what would you, if you saw that, what would you think it says?
Meme.
No, that is not what you think it says. That is not what you think it says.
I have never ever thought that it was gonna be pronounced Mimi.
Yes, you did.
No.
That's what, when you read it, that's what, it's just like GIF and GIF. Same thing. Mimi, meme.
No.
Mimi, meme.
It is not the same. And
So I still, but this isn't even where my story's going.
Okay.
I still call it a Mimi because now I'm too stuck in it.
Now you think
and
it's
I
funny?
don't. Well, no, I just don't want people to be right.
Oh yeah.
So I definitely hold on to that. But so I learned a new word this week.
Uh-huh.
All that to be said, my Twitter is only filled with like sports stuff, and so I don't have all the.
Same. Because I love sports. I'm sorry, go ahead.
But my stuff is like, kids have Twitters to look up memes
Mhm.
or memes, whichever you pronounce it how you want to.
No, it's meme. Go ahead.
But so I don't catch all the lingo, so I frequently hear new words,
Yeah.
and I just want you to explain this word to me. I don't know if you've ever heard this before. I doubt it. I don't think you're in touch with things like this.
Mm-hmm.
But I heard it's called a flex.
Yeah. Actually, I just learned that word maybe like 2 or 3 days ago over Christmas
no, you
break.
didn't. Not like this type of flex.
No, I've known that. But
Thunder and lightning.
full circle. No, it's funny. We were in Albuquerque visiting my in-laws for the holidays, and I have a son now who's old enough to be on social media. He's got Instagram and Facebook. I don't think he's got a Twitter. I hope not. So I should be more informed about what my kids are doing. But so I look at his Instagram, and the other day he had posted something. And it's scary just having your kids on social media because you never know. I'm less worried about all the dangers in the world that are out there, and they are out there. I'm not denying that. But I'm more worried that my kids are going to post something that's really embarrassing for them. And so,
like all the scary things, like people who think the Earth is round.
yeah, that's crazy. But so anyway, so I worry, and so I check in on his Instagram every once in a while. And he had posted something, I can't even remember what it was now, but he had posted something a while back, and one of the comments said, it was like weird flex, but okay. And so is that kind of what is that what you're talking about?
Yes, no, that's exactly where I initially heard, that's exactly where I initially heard that flex thing.
Yeah, I'd never heard it before, but my wife's younger brother was there while we were looking at it. I'm like, what does that even mean? Because I was afraid someone was cyberbullying my kid.
What was the post?
I don't even remember. I'll have to go look it up. We'll have to look it up here in a little bit. But
You can find it in the comments.
maybe. We'll see. we'll try to figure out how to work comments later.
It depends how embarrassing it is for Jay.
Yeah, but it wouldn't be embarrassing for me. I just don't want my kids to do something that later on they'll look back and I'm like, man.
Yeah, because nothing on the internet is ever deleted.
You know, I've heard that. I don't know if I believe that. Do you think that's true? That once I think it's probably true, but I don't know. What do you think? You think you can ever actually fully eradicate something that once it's out there?
I think so, but I think you're gonna have to pay money.
Oh, you think so? Are there services that
Well,
that
like
will clean your
even
web trail or something
even
like
like there's been embarrassing video or pictures of celebrities that they are no longer out there. I
Oh,
think
yeah.
they paid some money.
Yeah.
Or Mark Cuban just developed an app called Cyberdust
Oh,
that
yeah?
can go back and permanently delete trails of stuff. No free ads. Mark Cuban. Got a seat for you next week.
Yeah, that would. We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see.
I
No
mean,
free ads.
The seat is here. We'll see if he shows up.
Yeah. But like, I think I bet you have to pay for that app. I
sure.
bet to get something off the internet.
I would.
It's like a.
I would be surprised if any app would be good enough to clean every trace of you off the internet. Like, because I mean, you post something on anything, anyone likes it and shares it, and there's so many duplicates and copies and everything like that.
Well,
I can't imagine you can ever get it all gone.
Think about a screenshot. You can't delete that off somebody else's phone.
Yeah.
It's there.
Yeah, I think
It's like when you toot in class and you're a kid. It's there. Everyone knows it's there. Even when the smell goes away, they knew it was there.
That's true. That is true. Yeah, you can't ever once it's out there, it's out there. You can't ever put that back in the tube. That's really a toothpaste. That's a toothpaste analogy, not a fart analogy. So.
but now that's my favorite toot analogy. There is
equally applicable. So.
you can't put it back in the tube.
Can't put it back in the tube. So
I don't know that I'd want to put it back in the tube.
I know. But yeah, so I mean, I run across stuff like that all the time with new words and new phrases and stuff like that, and you know, in our profession, you know, it's kind of part of it is that we're interacting with young people a lot, and so I think a lot of the new words that come out are coming from young people just kind of being creative. I read I can't remember a while ago that Webster puts out a list of their top new words every year, and I just remember whenever I read that I thought that's crazy that language is evolving that quickly that there can actually be a list of top words every year, new words added to our language every single year.
Well, I mean, man, I'm divulging. That's a good SAT word.
Yeah.
And
you used it correctly. I think. We'll see.
We'll see. So, man, I'm embarrassing. So,
that's what we've been telling you for years. Continue.
Okay. So, do you remember the pet store that was in the mall in Lubbock?
Yeah,
long ago.
Yeah, right over by it was like a little kid play area.
Yeah,
mm-hmm.
And they have like weird animals, but they have lots of dogs. And on the outside, I don't know where this is like. This is just with all those new words.
Yeah.
Sometimes there are words you just don't know. I remember I went and they had all these different dog breeds all over the side of the wall. Not like dogs like pushed up against the wall, but like
no.
but like the big spelled out letters of the dogs. And I went.
The names is what they call them? Names of dog breeds.
I'm embarrassing right now. And the running joke growing up was Rhett can't read.
That's a hilarious joke.
We used to drive on trips. My parents would be
Our
like,
son's illiterate.
Well, we'd go on trips and my parents would be like, all right, let's play this game. And the whole family get ready. They go, Rhett, read that billboard. And I'd mess up so much stuff. So we're looking at this word and my dad goes, read it. And I'm like, okay. And there's some weird dog breeds and they come from all over the world.
Yeah.
That's just natural to sometimes add certain pronunciation that you think goes there. So I see this word and I go, Dachshund. And then I go, no, wait, it's a Dutch hound. and it's been such a running joke that phrase, my parents, when I moved into my new house, bought me a thing to go in my, no, not a dog, but a picture. This is a dachshund? You thought that's where it's going?
That's not, they're not that much bigger than that.
But it's on a skateboard and it goes over my in my kitchen. It's a little picture. They even have other miniature dogs that they keep buying me just to remind me that I couldn't read as a child.
That's pretty funny.
I mean, I was 18 when I did this, but
That I don't think you're alone in that. I remember seeing that word for the first time, and I think I pronounced it like dash hound or something like that. Like I didn't know how to do it. So.
yeah, and I had a little German. I thought maybe it's where it came from.
I'm sure.
I'm
it does.
sure, yeah. Because have you seen those videos on Facebook where it's talking about words and like just how people communicate with one another, and it'll show like English, then they'll kind of go through some of the love languages. Your French, your Spanish, your maybe that's it. I'm not really sure that. But then they go through all these words.
The two.
And all of them are pretty similar. Then they go to German. And it is like the most foreign letters. And it still has all the letters we use, but just in way different.
Yeah, a lot less vowels.
Yeah. So very harsh. But I mean, that's just how we communicate. And it's different between everybody. I remember this one time. I was probably 16 or I was probably 17 or 18. I had this girlfriend. I talk a lot about ex-girlfriends.
Yeah.
I hope they approve of me talking about them.
I'm sure they're just as embarrassed as you are.
You make me feel embarrassed. But one time we were in this fight, and as big of a fight as you could get in high school. Like, we went out on this date and we weren't wearing matching shirts this time.
Did you wear matching shirts a lot?
No, I just couldn't think of anything else to say. And so we got in this fight, and I remember purposely making the decision to stay out past curfew. And like
because you were in a fight with your girlfriend?
Yeah, I was like, I need to fix this, and I need to fix this now.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna go. We're gonna talk. I'm just gonna get in trouble when I get home. Well, I get in trouble a little bit. My dad's just talking to me, and I can't remember anything he was saying, but I'm mad at you, I'm mad at you, I'm mad at you. Those words never came out of his mouth, but that's what I constantly felt like. I was like, I'm in trouble, I'm in trouble. And I was like, no, he just doesn't get it. So the next day I wake up and I go to work. I worked at a local pool, and while I was at work, I remember texting my friend and just going off about my dad. Like, he's so annoying, he's been so mean, all this stuff. And I press send and it goes. And all of a sudden I get a text message back from my dad, and it just said, ha ha. And I was like, why did my dad just text me ha ha? And that text I had meant to send to a friend, I had sent to my dad. I just said all this stuff to my dad. Luckily enough, he didn't know I was that upset. He just thought I was kidding.
Yeah.
But we had a conversation later where we go and we start to talk, and finally that night when we talked, and I was like, he's mad, he's mad, I'm in trouble. That's all I could think. I was so built up in the emotion from the fight and the initial confrontation that all of a sudden I made this whole story up, a lot of it.
Yeah.
He was actually saying, hey, look, it's just not a good idea to fight over dumb stuff, to extend this and push your own boundaries, to do all these different things. He was doing nothing but looking out for me. He was doing nothing but trying to protect me. Like, and I can probably think of countless stories where my mom and my dad, they would talk to me like they wanted me to do something, and I perceived one thing, then instantly thought things about them. Just in the way we communicate, I never really understood, especially in some of those heated moments where my emotions got going, why that worked that way.
Yeah, I've encountered that too, and I think that talking about communication and figuring all that stuff out, I think one of the hardest things about communication is being able to just get outside of your own head. Because in a situation like that, I'm sure you invented a character for your dad to play. Like, your dad was the bad guy in the situation, and so everything that you did, your dad is the bad guy. He's the villain, and so you perceive everything he says as that. But the reality is that that's just this play that's going on inside your head. And I remember whenever I was I guess I was 19 years old, and I was working at this summer camp. It was the summer after my freshman year in college, and I had wanted to work at this summer camp as a camp counselor, and that didn't work out. And so I went through the interviews. I didn't get the job, but like as a pity move, they asked me if I wanted to go up and work in the kitchen. And so I was like, sure, I'll go do that. And so, and it was actually, it ended up being one of the best summers of my life. At the time, I thought it was one of the worst summers of my life. I remember feeling miserable, but looking back, like every time I think about all the stuff we were doing, I just laugh all the time. And so I remember, going up there, and I was a ministry major. I wanted to go into ministry, and I was at this camp, and I knew that this week, one of the sessions, there's going to be this guy that was coming up, and he was a really big name in ministry. And I thought, well, this will be an awesome opportunity for me to get a chance to talk to him, to build a relationship with him, to get to know him. And I just really, I wanted him to like me. I wanted to impress him. And he came up, and I just remember, like every night the kids would go to bed, and all the adults would go into the kitchen, and like we'd cook for them, and we'd hang out. And I just got this vibe from him that he just didn't like me, that he didn't want to be around me, that I had done something to offend him or to bother him. And so I just remember feeling really, really bummed about that. And then turns out the next year, he came to LCU. He took over the youth ministry department at LCU. And so me and him had some classes together, and did eventually have a chance to build a little bit of a relationship. Yeah. And so whenever I felt safe enough in that relationship, I remember asking him, I said, hey, do you remember when you came up to camp last year? Like, do you remember me working in the kitchen? And he's like, oh, yeah, I remember you. And I was like, well, I have a weird question for you. I really wanted to impress you that week. I was trying to get to know you, and trying to, just trying to I really wanted you to like me. I mean, that's as honest as I can be with him. And I said, I just felt like you just didn't like me. I felt like there was something wrong, and I was curious, what did I do to make you not like me? And I just remember he said, it wasn't that I didn't like you. It was that I thought you were a whiner.
That's the word he used?
Yeah. He's like, I just thought you were really whiny.
I don't even know what that means when you say that.
Do you know what whining is?
I do, but like, you're a whiner.
Like someone who whines about things.
Yeah. Okay.
And so, but that thought that you just had, like, that was the same thing that I thought. I was like, what? That doesn't make any sense. I don't understand that. And so, but I started to think about it, and I said, well, what do you mean by that? Because I don't remember whining. And he said, you just have this thing where there's a lot of times where things happen and you don't like them. And you can't just own the fact that you don't like them and that you wish things would go differently, but you played the victim on all of it and would always just say, well, that's not fair. That's not fair. And so I started thinking about it. I was like, oh, you know what? He's right. Like, that's what I was doing. Like, I was unhappy about certain situations with the people I was working with and working for. And my attitude was, they're treating me bad. They're treating me wrong. They shouldn't be treating me like this. And really what it was that there were things I didn't like. Like, they weren't treating me bad by making me scrub the pots. That's what I signed up to do. And so I started thinking about it. I'm like, he's right. Like, I was so trapped inside my own head and my own perception of the world that I couldn't see through that to understand that there's other people in this story. And so everything was about how the world is treating me. And when you do that, I think that's when you end up creating characters that other people are playing in your life. And communication starts to break down, because it's not about listening to anyone else. It's all about people need to hear my voice. I need to get my point across. I need to say this. I need to explain how I feel, and everyone needs to understand that. And we stop hearing anything else, and we're just so trapped in our own little world.
Well, I've gone as far as to completely fabricate people.
Yeah.
I even, man, you walk into a coffee shop and you see someone you know, and you're talking, and like you see someone you know and they're over here, and you're like, well, I got to get my coffee first, and they never wave or anything. You're kind of like, are they mad at me?
Yeah.
They didn't even see you, and you've already, and not you, me, I've done this. I do this. Yeah. And I've already created the story about them. I think if people who I've heard the daisy chain effect of, he said to her, to him, to her, to him, to her, then it gets to me, and there's something like, yeah, this guy, he doesn't mind parking over the line when he's when he's in the parking lot, and I'm like, the nerve of that guy. And it's like, and then like these people don't even know I don't like them, because I've never even talked to them, and I'm like, oh, I do not like that person. It's like it's just completely fabricated. Like, so much of communication, I think isn't between two people. I think happens up here.
Oh, yeah.
I've had confrontations in my life that needed to happen, but I just absolutely avoided, because when I thought the whole conversation all the way through, no need to have it anymore. It's already done. I did it up here.
Yeah. And I think, too, whenever you do that, you end up not only creating this character that this person plays out, but you create this false story, and I think you lose track of the fact that you're not the main character in this story that the world is playing out. Like, I think we like to view ourselves in a story as a hero of a story, but what's probably closer to reality is that we are the side characters in some other main story that's going on, but we make the story about us. And so I think when we do that, it comes down to this self-centered mentality. And I think too, whenever you look at your relationships, like, talking about how you view people, and whenever you live in this self-centered world, I remember whenever I was a kid, the relationship that I had with my parents was very different than the relationship I have right now, because back then it was, my parents were like these magic genies, and whenever I needed something, I asked for them and then they give it to me. And as long as that is being maintained, then the relationship is good. And so it wasn't until I got older, and really probably that conversation that I had with kind of where I realized that I was living in my own little bubble and only focused on myself, that I started to think outside that, because I was able to see that I was doing that in that situation at the camp I was working at, but then I started thinking beyond that into the rest of my life and the relationships, and I thought, I'm doing that with my parents, I'm doing that with my friends, that everything revolves around me, and whenever I was able to kind of realize that and step out of it, I was able to finally get to the point where it wasn't just me talking to other people, it was me listening. And so it was probably the first time, and I don't know if it's just that conversation or if it's just something that comes with age, I started listening to my parents. I started realizing that, wow, my dad has a lot to teach me. My dad's a pretty amazing guy. My mom, all right, the most caring, compassionate, sweet, kind woman. I started actually being able to see who she was. I remember having some like knockdown, drag out fights with my mom, and it was because I was so locked up in my own world that I just perceived her as this villain. And whenever I was finally able to step outside of that, it was liberating, because I got to see, oh, she's a real person, and she's got some really amazing qualities. There's a lot that I can learn from her if I'll just stop and listen and hear other people's stories.
I mean, and we're both Christians, we're both ministers. I even think of like the way I talk to God is, sometimes I don't even take things to God, because it's like, oh, I already know the answer. Or when I go to God, it's just, all right, here's a story I need you to hear. Here's a story I need to tell you.
Yeah.
It's never taking time to be communicative and come to that realization. But as we look to close, and as we think about things that are coming around, we always want to leave you with something practical or something to take from it. I don't have a great thing to say this time. The best thing I can think to say is just stop.
Yeah.
Stop and just take a second. You've already created the worst possible situation in your own mind.
Yeah.
If that situation plays out, you're already prepared for it. Stop.
And it's not going to. That's
yes, too, you're right.
Is those
0 times in my life has it ever happened.
Oh, absolutely. The script that I write for a confrontation, where I'm going to go in and I'm going to say this, and that person's going to say this, and then this is how I'm going to respond to that. It never happens that way. Yeah. And so I play out the worst scenario in my head, and I go through that, and I live that for, days sometimes.
Yeah.
It keeps me up at night just running through how this conversation's going to go. And whenever I finally actually get into that conversation, it never happens the way that I have scripted it in my head. It always goes better. I always end up relieved at the end of those conversations instead of angry.
And so as we finish, we thank you so much for tuning in to Barnabas episode number 2. We want to hear what you have to say. Leave a comment and we'll definitely get back to you.
Yeah, join the conversation. We love having these conversations. We want you to be a part of it too.
So thanks for tuning in to episode number 2. We'll see you next time.
Bye-bye. Thank you for tuning in to this episode of Barnabas Sons of Thunder. We really hope that you found this episode entertaining and encouraging. We really do appreciate all of you who decided to tune in and spend a few minutes with us. If you'd like more, you can find us on YouTube, iTunes, and Spotify.